Hey, everybody, this is Rich Sparks, Associate Broker with Keller Williams Realty. We're going to get started here in a minute. We've got a ton of stuff to go over. We're going to be looking at what's going on in the market, where's these interest rates going, and how it impacts you. So stick around. We're going to look at historical data to try to figure out what's going to happen with this real estate market with rising interest rates and everything going on. So let's get started here. All right, today's real estate market and all the fun things we get to deal with. And the first thing we're going to start off with is just the elephant in the room. With increased rates going up, will that mean that we're going to see pricing come down? So the only way really to look at this is let's go back. We have to know our history. At the end of the day, we have to know our history. If we don't, then we're doomed to repeat it, right? So mortgage rates rising the year, Freddie Mac average 30-year fixed rate as of January of 2022 till March 31st was 4.67%. That's a pretty dramatic increase from 3 to 4.67%, but actually it went higher than that. It went all the way up to 5.25. That's what we're seeing right now is 5.25, 5.5, depending on your credit rating, things of that nature. Now, mortgage rates, what they're talking about right now, and this is from Freddie Mac, Deputy Chief Economist for Freddie Mac. Mortgage rates are most likely going to continue to move higher throughout the balance of 2022. At this time, he had said, although the pace of rate increase is likely to moderate, much of the increase in rates in early 2022 is in anticipation of what will happen later this year, especially with the Federal Reserve interest rate policy. They have bumped that up a little bit. The Federal rate is now saying that it's likely to see more. So right now they have scheduled 5 increases in mortgage rates by the end of the year. One coming up next month. And according to a lot of folks, this could go up to about 7.5%. But does the impact of rising prices always mean that home pricing is going to decrease? Well, here again, we have to look at that historical data. Going back, historically speaking, you can see that all the way back, we went back, to 1993. So almost 30 years. Now, back when we had this increase of 2.38%, home prices still increased by 3%. In 98 to the year 2000, so 19 months, we had an increase of interest rates of 1.81%, and home prices still increased by 13%. The only time we really haven't seen this is when we had a big drop in 2005. And that went on longer than 13 months, but according to Freddie Mac. And then we did see home prices drop at 14%. That was a little different situation than we're in here. Okay, impact of rising rates on housing. Changes when mortgage rates rise by more than 1%. Here again, looking at these dates, we had increases of 2.38% and houses still rose. Home sales went down a little bit by 11% because it became a little less affordable, but home prices still went up by 3% and the final rate was 9.2%. Now, one of the fears I have in this whole thing is a lot of folks that have never purchased a home before, a lot of our millennial buyers have never known anything outside of 2.75%, 3%, 3.25%. So to them, this rise, if we hit back to that 7% area, which I think industry average for the last 50 years was right around 6.5% was the average mortgage rate. But I feel the millennial buyers could very well just get shocked by this. And if so, we could see them fall out. So while higher short-term interest rates will push up mortgage rates, They expect the impact to be mitigated eventually through lower inflation. With rates rising expected to rise through 2023, it makes sense to obtain a purchase or refinance mortgage if you can do that. Basically, what they're saying is and I've had some buyers here lately that said, hey, we're going to hold off to 2023. It might be a really big mistake. So going into next year, housing value has increased, appreciated. So houses are more expensive, but then the interest rate's more expensive too. This is really going to decrease people's buying power dramatically. What's going to happen in the spring housing market? And let me tell you what I've been seeing. According to Altos Research, we keep watching for it, but there are absolutely no signs of a market slowdown anywhere in the data. If anything, we're seeing the market continues to heat up. Locally, that is exactly what we are seeing also. We are still getting multiple offers. So this is our overall buyer traffic index, and this is really quite cool. So the dark blue is showing where there's very, very strong buyer traffic. You can see Michigan is dark blue, and most of the states are, except for Utah, Idaho, North Dakota, Montana. And this is the seller traffic. The light blue is showing very weak listings, where the dark blue is stable, or the semi-dark blue is stable. There's nothing strong or very strong in the nation. That's what it comes down to. We have a lack of inventory, high demand, and even as interest rates increase, we will see buyers shifting from a higher purchase point to a lower purchase point, but we're not going to see pricing drop. So all the folks that are out there waiting for that bubble, it does not look like it's going to happen. The first time in 6 months, I think in Michigan, we're closer to like 12 months, we're actually seeing active listings increase a little bit. And we're talking very, very slightly, just a slight bump up. But we're seeing that also in new industry insiders are throwing out their previous forecasts and replacing them with more of a bullish short-term outlooks. Indeed, some experts say the 2022 spring housing market will go down in history. Not potentially, it will go down in history as one of the most competitive on record. Let's see, Pam's asking, if I sell, where would I go for it to be financially smart? Well, when it comes down to selling your home, that's a great question, Pam. And where would you go where it financially makes sense? When you're looking to make a move, two things. One, is your lifestyle going to improve? So something to consider, not only where you're going to go, but what type of lifestyle you want. So maybe you're in that situation where you're looking to downsize. Your kids have grown up. They've moved out of the house. You have this 4-bedroom colonial, and it doesn't really make sense. You have rooms in your house you haven't even visited. This is the perfect time to be selling that home and downsizing. Makes a lot of sense. If you're at that point where you're retiring, you can visit my channel, timetodownsize.com, and on YouTube, Time to Downsize. And there are places around the world that are a lot less expensive to live with higher qualities of life. So it really comes down to your personal situation. Hey, my name's Rich Sparks. I truly thank you for watching. I hope that you turn in next week. This was our first one. I hope you had a little bit of fun. And if you have any questions, feel free to call us at 248-214-4105 or shoot us an email at rich@richsparks.com.